Yes. So coming back to the question. So any guesses? What's a math teacher's favorite season?
Summer. S-U-M.
Summer, because of the word yes, S-U-M, some. Right? Good.
Okay.
Why didn't the Romans find algebra very challenging? Because
Already they have letters, alphabet.
Because of
alphabet
that,
reason is the value of x is always 10. So they need not work out to find the value of x because the value of x is always 10, right? In Roman numerals, value of x is 10, right? So value of x is always 10. So it was not difficult for Romans. As you said, equal to sign is so humble because it's neither greater or less than. What kind of snake does math teacher probably own is a python. Python because of that pi, you know, python.
I thought Python also, ma'am, but I thought I compared with computer, ma'am. Why should we use Python? So that only I skipped that, ma'am.
Python is at pi.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay. Skip the sixth one. So here comes the answers. Let me reduce my screen. Okay, so the topic that we are going to see today is joyful learning. How can we make learning joyful? Apart from the traditional way of teaching, how can we make the learning process joyful for the children as well as the teacher, for which the teacher should be very creative. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you are
So,
completely audible.
yes, so joyful learning, it's a way of learning. It's a mode of learning where learners experience and learn, where they do and learn. When they do and learn, their curiosity automatically increases. Yes, so it's either a playway method or a peer group joining and doing, teacher, students, collaboration, classmate interaction, activity. It can be of any form. Finally, it should be a joyful learning for the students. It can be a role play or it can be a puzzle, games, activities. It can be of any form by which the learning will be more relevant and the understanding of the learners will be very deep. They can understand the concept better when they learn through joyful learning. When they enjoy and learn, when they do and learn, they take the ownership. So they enjoy the way they learn and it engages the student. It engages the students to a greater level. And moreover, finally, the classroom will be very lively. So these are the benefits of joyful learning. And why is it means? Because they learn while they practice. While doing, they learn. So it's a joyful learning because of which the retention of whatever they have learned, that will be in their mind forever. It's long lasting. So because they are doing and learning, so that will register in their mind forever. It will get deep rooted in their memory. So retention is better when the mode of learning is joyful learning. And automatically when they do and learn, their self-motivation goes to a greater level. They get highly motivated because they take the ownership of what they are doing, right? So the motivation level increases. And the most important thing is, in order to keep the learning joyful, the teacher should be highly creative. Creativity teacher should reach no bounds, very highly creative. And it should excite the students towards learning because that will reduce the stress and anxiety of the students. When they learn happily, they are not under stress. The anxiety gets reduced, stress-free. We are providing them a stress-free environment, so they learn happily. For which we have to bring curiosity in our lesson plan. So when we plan our lesson itself, we have to decide how this has to be. Though we go up with a lesson plan, there will be 40 lessons plans waiting for us. So it is we are going to face that. And the research has shown that engaged students and motivated students who are under less stress or pressure, they have high cognitive skills. Cognitive skills means the reasoning skill, the thinking skill is very high when the students are highly motivated and stress-free environment. They can perform better when compared to the normal classes. So generally, what do people say? Though we do so many things, but what is that deep rooted in many people's mind? That is, math is boring, tough, not a scoring subject. We make a lot of mistakes. So this is the traditional thought that continues in their mind. Maybe because of the friends around them or the family members or the elders, they may face such situation. Though, so that goes into like generation after generation, it's registered in their mind that math is a tough subject and not a school formula or the theory. We are going to make, how we are going to make the learning very joyful. So it's absolutely in the hands of the teachers. So what are the curricular expectations? So the expectations, what is it expected? That is the concrete ideas of number to a number sense. That is when we use number lines. It's more or less a playway method. Puzzles, playing with numbers and number lines. So the concrete idea of number, it changes to number sense. It's maybe a mental math or a puzzle using dot cards, and through which we can find the relationship between the numbers. Some sort of pattern is there between the numbers. So it can be easily obtained. So that's what the curriculum expects. And understand and apply using algebra, the concept related to variable, expression, equation, all these things can be attained. Then not only that, real life problems and normal mathematical problems, it can be solved using arithmetic and algebra. These are the curricular expectations through joyful learning. So it develops an aesthetic sense. Aesthetic sense, when we talk about symmetry, what comes to the mind? The beautiful symmetrical shapes, right? Either it can be a shape, a triangle, a circle, or a rhombus or a square, any quadrilateral, or the constructions around us, the building around us, the monuments around us. It gives a beautiful sense, right? And not only that, it identifies the space as region enclosed within close, something enclosed within a closed thing. Like it relates perimeter and area. So these are the curricular expectations. Math is in our life. It's almost a part of our life. Every day, everything, whatever we do, math is there from the beginning of the day till the end of the day. There cannot be anything without math. It's absolutely a part of our life, right? So how it's connected life to mathematics? I'll share a small video. Just answer me whether you're able to see the video or not.
I think we should explore a few solutions.
Grammarly suggestions catch when you're.
Am I sharing the video?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Click keypads. Click the rectangle which is before.
Yes, I know. 1 minute, ma'am. Am I sharing, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Just observe, keep observing. I'm not going to ask any questions. Just enjoy the video.
This May 7th,
Yes, I hope you would have enjoyed the video, right? Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Shouldn't be talking to myself, so I'm just confirming in between. Yes, okay. Okay, now we'll go for an introspection, right? Are your students afraid of mathematics? few should be there in the class. May not be everyone. Few students should be there. Yes. Do majority of your students not enjoy mathematics learning? Do your students find mathematics boring and difficult? Are your students conceptually weak in mathematics? Do most of your students score poor marks in mathematics? If answer to majority of these questions is yes, then there should be a change. It's the time for the teacher to bring the change in the monotonous class. There should be a change. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's time for us to bring some innovative ideas in the pedagogy. So how it's going to be innovative? First of all, what is innovation in the pedagogy? Let us have a look into it. So first of all, what is innovation? Innovation means it's an idea, some sort of change, which is better. Because why we need a change? Because there is some sort of scarcity in the existing model. Something is missing in the present model. So for which we need a change. Innovation is something, an idea that is something new, that is different, that is better than the existing one or the previous one. So why do we need innovation? Innovation is something that is novel and something that is going to be very useful. Innovation is an idea that is something new, and definitely that should be useful. It should be economic, something it should be beneficial, right? Or the social value. Social value means the changes that we experience in our lives. So it should be beneficial and there should be some change in our lives. That can be sustained. Sustained means that should long last. And scaled up. Scaled up means that should be increased, right? Either the concept or the level of understanding that should be measured and that should rise us up. And it should be able to address the problem to give a definitely an intelligent solution, right? So innovation, why do we need innovation? For all these aspects. That is novel and useful. It should be economic, for an economic and social value. It should sustain and it should go to a greater heights, and definitely it should give a better and intelligent solution. That's why we need innovation in the pedagogy. Pedagogy means that is the way of teaching, the practice of teaching. So definitely we need a change in the way of teaching. So innovation in education, it can be of any form, any change. It can be in any change, either the practice or the strategy or the resource that we that can make the learning joyful and everlasting for the learner, for the students, for the children. So how are we going to, how this innovation in mathematics is going to help? How this will help when we relate it to mathematics? It simplifies the content, the description. It simplifies. So the change should simplify the description and a better vision. How we were seeing all these days, it should give a different vision, a better view, as well as the application of the concept. It should give an easy explanation or the description about the concept, better view, the way we look into the problem or how do we apply the concept. Definitely it should help in all these things. Diversify the concept and its application. Diversify means what? Diversify means using the concept in a different way, differently, and applying it differently, using it differently and applying it differently. The diversification brings creativity. So the diversify the concept and its application. Discovers new information and that leads to a greater problem solving skills. Presenting the concept in different form, not the same old thing, it should be presented in a different way because something is missing. So we need a change. So the concept can be delivered in a different form. Breaking the monotony in learning, that breaks the mechanic way of learning. So what we have learned in the past, those days cannot be repeated the same for the present trend or the current students. The interest and the level of understanding, it varies. It keeps changing, right? So it shouldn't be monotonous. There should be changes in a very challenging classroom. It cannot be the same always. Innovation in pedagogy shall make learning experiences more meaningful and productive. Yes, of course, the learning experiences will be productive. When you find a better change, why do we go for a change? For better productivity, right? So the learning experiences, the way the students learn, that will change into more meaningful, and definitely the end result will be a very good, the productive one. It makes the learning opportunities more accessible. Learning opportunities means the different way of learning, the different strategy or the different mode of learning, that becomes very more accessible. Easily we can access, we can get it. Shall impact the teaching stress-free and long-lasting. So that innovation definitely, it brings a stress-free environment and long-lasting. And the most important thing is any idea or any change, let it be anything, however innovative it may be, let it be very creative, however innovative it may be, but utmost care should be taken that it should be implemented properly. Otherwise, it will definitely change into a total mess. It can be a total disaster. So this is very important and this is very difficult in teaching because we are not going to handle with machines. We are going to handle the children and their learning process. So definitely utmost care should be taken. Please stay on mute. I don't know, someone's audio is turned on. Please stay on mute. So idea plus implementation and the monitoring that idea, reviewing that. So that will definitely change into a good design of innovation that is going to be successful. So how can we bring that innovation? See this, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell what to see. Using technology, how this innovation can be brought into practice by using technology, right? Information communication technology, the dialogue, that is the conversation or the role play. As we said, discussion, a healthy discussion in the classroom, right? And the problem solving skill, different tasks given for the students, that develops the reasoning skill and the problem solving skills. Learning by doing, it can be an activity or it can be anything that involves the students. They themselves, they learn and do. So in such ways, we can bring innovation in the way of learning. Then questioning, inquiry-based learning, definitely that will help. Yes, the students and the teacher should participate in the questioning session. Definitely that will bring a change, which will give a better understanding of the understanding level of the students. And storyboards definitely would have used in your classroom, which gives a clear picture. Like a story, it gives a clear picture about the concept, a step-by-step vision. So that gives a better vision about the content. So these ways we can bring innovation, that is the change, innovative ideas in the way we teach, in the teaching process. Now, for example, take the lesson algebra. Students, they find very difficult to understand the concept of constants, variable. Like I've heard students saying, what ma'am, this is X and Y. Why are these alphabets? Why do you introduce alphabets into mathematics? So it's a very big change from the primary when they enter into 6th standard. That is the first step for them to learn algebra, right? So they should definitely they should have a better base when they enter the 6th standard. So for example, I've given the picture of this mall. I've shown the picture of this mall to the students. How am I going to relate it to the concept of constant and variables? Now show this picture to the students and ask them to find which are the variables and the constant. Constant means, of course, that is not going to change. That will remain still. Variable mean what are the things that will vary. So once they see the picture and analyze themselves, then they will get a clear picture about the constants and the variables. Like you can ask them to observe what are the things that moves in the picture and what are the things that will not move, that stand still. So when we relate the concept to something in our real life, and when they see and learn, and when they themselves involve in the process, definitely the students will get a better picture about the concepts. Now I'll present a video. If time may not be sufficient, so I'll not play the full video, just to some extent. To give an idea, I'll play this video.
Tara, last story for the day. You might have seen fruit and vegetable vendors in the market using a weighing scale. So if you go to a vendor and ask for 3 kgs of apples, he puts this 3 kg weight on one side of the scale and apples on the other side. Now, if the apples are heavier, he starts removing some apples, and he continues to do so till both the sides of the scale are balanced. So if both the sides of the scale are balanced, we can say that weight of apples is equal to 3 kgs, as in this case. So both the sides are balanced, and we can say that weight of apples is equal to 3 kgs. Now we can represent this mathematically. That is, we can replace this is equal to by an equal to sign. So weight of apples is equal to 3 kgs. We can write it in this form, and this is an equation. So when two things are balanced or equal, we can represent it using an equal to sign, and it is called an equation. But what if the things are not balanced or they are not equal? As in these two cases. Here we see that the side containing apples is heavier. So weight of apples is more than 3 kgs. In this case, the side containing apples is lighter than 3 kgs. So we can say that weight of apples is less than 3 kgs. So in both the cases, weight of apples is not equal to 3 kgs. So it is not equal to 3 kgs. Hence, it is an inequation. So if it is not an equation, it is an inequation. So whenever things are balanced or equal, we can represent them using an equal to sign, and that is an equation. When things are not balanced or not equal, then we call it to be an inequation. Now answer this question. Does the following represent an equation? Marks obtained by Raj are more than the passing marks. So marks obtained by Raj are more than the passing marks. So it is not equal. Hence, it does not represent an equation. So this statement does not represent an equation. Now you have already learned expressions. So these are different types of expressions. When two expressions are equal, an algebraic equation is formed. So if expression 1 is equal to expression 2, we can represent it in this manner, and this is an algebraic equation. So when two expressions are equal, we can represent it using an equation. Now have a look at this. X plus 2 is an expression. 5 is an expression. X plus 2 is equal to 5. This is an equation because it states that this expression is equal to this expression. So this is an equation. X plus 2 is equal to 5 is an equation. Now what about this? This is an expression. Even this is an expression. And we have written this is equal to this. Hence, this is an equation because it states that something is equal to something. Hence, this is an equation. Now, you will observe that in the first equation, we have variable on just one.
I'm stopping it here. So just how the method, way of teaching can be innovative, just I shared this video.
Win at work by communicating effectively. With Grammarly, meet Ty. He is emailing a difficult client.
Our aim is to solve some linear equations in one variable with the help of an activity.
Now
For
we can
this,
learn
we
through
need the
activity
following
now.
material. We'll require few squares of same dimensions and each square will represent x. From each square, we'll cut out two triangles and each triangle will represent x by 2. Further, we'll take 3 rectangles from each square and each rectangle will represent x by 3. We'll also need some white counters and some black counters. Each white counter will represent +1 and each black counter will represent -1. So this represents x, this is x by 2, this is x by 3, and this white counter represents +1, this black counter represents -1. That means a black counter added to a white counter will form a 0 pair. It would equal to 0. So let's take an example. If I want to solve an equation, say x plus 4 equals to 6. This equation can be represented in the following ways. For representing x, I'll take a square. Plus 4 means I'll add 4 white counters. Is equals to 6 means I'll take 6 white counters on the right hand side. X plus 4 equals to 6. Now, because it's a balanced equation, if I add something on left hand side, I'll have to add the same on right hand side also. I'm adding 4 black counters on left hand side. I'll have to add the same on right hand side also. Now, as I've told you, a black counter and a white counter is forming a 0 pair, so they will get cancelled in pair. So I'm on the right hand side also. So I'm left with 2 white counters. That shows x is equals to 2, which is the solution of our equation x plus 4 equals to 6. Now let us take another equation, x by 2 plus 5 equals to 3. It can be represented in the following ways. X by 2 will be represented by a triangle. Plus 5 means we'll add 5 white counters. Is equals to 3 means I'll add 3 white counters on right hand side. Now if I add 5 black counters on left hand side, I'll have to do the same on right hand side also. Again, they will get cancelled in pair. On the right hand side also, they will get cancelled. And I'm left with x by 2 equals to -2. Now, our equation has been reduced to x by 2 is equals to -2. If I add one more triangle on the left hand side, that is, I'm adding 2 black counters on right hand side, because one triangle is same as inside. I'll add 2 black counters on right hand side, and 2 triangles together are forming a square which is representing x. So I'm having x equals to -4. Which is the solution of our equation x by 2 plus 5 equals to 3. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.
So we have presented the regular way of teaching in a better way using an activity. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, recreational mathematics. Recreational mathematics means presenting mathematics in a entertaining way. So, recreational mathematics, that is, which is fun and used as either as a diversion from the serious mathematics, from the traditional way of doing mathematics. This recreational mathematics that we present in a more entertaining way. That can be puzzle, riddle, or fun, interesting, doing and learning. So automatically that will help in improving the problem solving skills and the thinking capacity. Puzzles and riddles, the research shows that puzzles and riddles are important area of research for many mathematicians. It is proven also. So in recreational mathematics, as I always say, that we are concentrating only on the process and definitely not on the product. So much more important is the process, and definitely we'll end up with a correct solution. The same slide I'm presenting now. It's getting stuck. It creates some interest, right? Some changes that is making us to look into it. The content is the same, the matter is the same, but it's presented in a different way. Some sort of liveliness is there. So that makes our, turn the concentration. So it should be to that level. Now look at this example. I've placed it's a chessboard. Just start keeping the rice grain starting from the corner square. You know, there are 64 squares in a chessboard. Just first grain, keep 1 grain in the first board. Then keep 2 grains on the second. And double it, 4 on the third, 8 on the fourth, 16 on the fifth. Like that, you increase it. So on doubling the number of each square, the successive square, finally at the last square, when you end the last square, can you guess the number of grains that you will end up in the last square? The resulting number of grain in the last square is 2 to the power 64 minus 1. Can you imagine, like, if any one of you know how to read this number, please read this. We can read from this, but if anyone knows to read, you just read it, or we will move to the next slide. So these many grains you can find at the end, at the last square of the chessboard. Now, what happens in joyful learning? Joyful learning, already we have discussed, it improves the motivation. When students put their best efforts to express their learning, automatically they get self-motivated and they explore the concept and the ideas that lies deep within it. So improved motivation of the student, if it increase, obviously the output also will increase. Engage learners, because as the students, they do and learn, definitely that gets registered in their mind. If the learning process is going to be lively, they enjoy the way of learning because they are connected themselves to the things around them, to the world around them, and that will give a better understanding about the content. Authentic learning. What is authentic learning? That is, authentic learning means relating to the environment or the past experiences through a song or a play, or it can be an art, or it can be drawing or music, it can be anything. So that is authentic learning. Then encourage autonomy and control. So in a traditional, that is the chalk and talk method, yes, is replaced with the experiences. In a joyful learning, the traditional classroom, that is the chalk and talk method, is definitely replaced by these methods in order to increase the interest in the students' learning procedure. The impact of joy on the overall learning, how I've just summed up what is the impact. The important component, that is joy of true learning, that encompasses on the collaboration, connection, sharing, and pride. Collaboration means learning together. The teacher, the students, either in a group, as an individual, they collaborate and learn. Together they learn, right? So for an instance, children, when they learn about fractions, equations, shapes through the activities, it can be of any sort of activity, like it can be paper folding or using videos or theaters. So automatically what is filled in the classroom, that is the joy and the pride, where you can find the curiosity of the students in the classroom. That is very clearly evident in a classroom, and you can find it. So joyful learning means bringing liveliness in the way we learn. Definitely that will bring happiness in the way of learning, right? This helps the students and the teacher to experience the teaching in a stress-free environment. Absolutely, they are in a stress-free environment. When they do and learn, like they take the ownership. They feel that they have done something. They have created something new. So that ownership gives the motivation in the students, give the self-satisfaction in the student, right? It could occur after completion of a lesson by himself, or it can happen when the task is done independently by the student, or it can happen while doing an activity. It can be inside the classroom or outside the classroom. Now, okay, for the past half an hour, we are into theory. So there is a small riddle for you. Just read and think over it. Anyway, I'll explain it for you. You have 4 unmarked bottles. There are no markings on the bottles. Okay, it's a bottle containing pills. 100 tablets are there in the pills. So one bottle of, 4 bottles are there. In that, one bottle is poison. We don't know which bottle is poison. The good pills weigh 1 gram each, whereas the poison pills weighs 1.1 gram each. So you can measure only once. So just by measuring only once, how can you identify which bottle contains the poisonous pills? Okay, keep thinking in the meantime. Okay, we have come to the end of this particular PowerPoint. We'll move to the next one. So ICT for mathematics, teaching and learning. Hope you are left out with, okay, just half an hour. I'll complete this PowerPoint in 10 minutes. Okay, it's going to be a show. This is a case study. What is PI? What is, first of all, ICT? ICT means communication and information technology. How we are going to use this in teaching and learning process. So now I'm introducing the concept of pi. What is pi? Why is pi 22/7? Okay, sorry, I have to move this. Okay, what is pi? So I've shown by a representation. We know pi is a ratio. It's a ratio of the circumference to the diameter. The circumference divided by the diameter will give you the value of pi, that is 22/7 or 3.14. And we know it's an irrational number because it goes on and on forever. It's not going to end. So when we think about pi, what figure comes to our mind immediately? That is the circle. So pi is related to the area, the perimeter of a circle. We use this pi, right? Here it should be pi r square. Okay, so 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle and pi r square is the area of the circle. And we are very well aware of that. Now here I've shown the traditional way of teaching, that is still I've used the representations also with the diagrammatic representation I've shown, but still now I'm going to show you the proof of pi. Just have a look at it.
Baby, நானு நாளைக்காக வந்திருக்கேன். எங்க வீட்டு ரூல்ஸ் தெரிஞ்சுக்க. Key எப்பவும் hookல. Bottle shelfல. அப்புறம் laundry. Nice shot.
Smart shot. புதிய Surf Excel Smart Shot. அவ்வளவு ஸ்மார்ட் துணியை ஒரே ஷாட்ல துவைச்சிடும். Surf Excel Smart Shot.
I'm not promoting
Hi
any
students,
product.
today I'm going to explain you why pi value is equal to 22/7. It's very easy proof. Now I have drawn a circle with the center. So the distance between the center and the circumference always radius. Wherever if you connect the line, it will be the radius only. So the line which passes through the origin will be called as a diameter. That is 2 times of radius will give you the diameter. This we know already. Now I'm going to make the same circle with the use of the thread. Now the circle is made up of thread, we can say. Now the length of the thread definitely will be the circumference of the circle. I'm going to cut this thread with the scissors. Now I'm going to stretch my thread into the straight line. Now definitely the length of the thread will be equal to circumference of my circle. Definitely it will be equal. Now the same thread which I made the circle, I'm going to divide into the parts by the diameter. So whatever diameter we have taken, I'm going to split it in, cut it into the diameter. So what I'm getting now 3 times diameter and a small part, that is diameter by 7. So if I'm adding all these, this will give you the
diameter by 7 means if you measure that
3 times diameter in that thread, d
that
plus
will
d
give,
plus
that
d
is
plus, then
7
small
times
part,
of
that
the
is
diameter.
definitely d by 7. I'm adding 3d plus d by 7. So 3d by 1, do the LCM. 7 3s are 21d plus 1d by 7. So that is equal to 22d by 7, I can say. So this is proof for all the circles. Whatever circle if you are taking, and the circumference can be cut it into 3 times diameter and one small part is diameter by 7. So for any circle it is coming to 22 by 7d. Again the d can be replaced as 2r, and the 22 by 7, the constant, we are naming it as pi. So diameter is 2r. So that I already told you. So 2 pi r, that is the circumference of my any circle. C is a denotation for the circumference. Now that constant, what we are getting for all the circle, the 22 by 7, that they named as pi. Now you can ask me, ma'am, how ma'am, for any circumference it will be definitely 3d plus d by 7. It can missed in some cases, no ma'am, you may ask the same question. I'm going to explain you the same thing with a small example. So with that example, you'll understand more. Taking a circle now, any circle.
Now the concept is understood. So how we are going to present that? If I show this video to the students, definitely they'll have a better understanding. If it will be better than explaining through the board, right? Actually, I wanted to play the full video, but we don't have sufficient time. So what is the importance and use of ICT in math learning? How it's going to be useful? So ICT, that is the information, communication and information technology, it has become a part of teaching learning process. We cannot separate it. The teaching and the ICT cannot be separated. They are embedded, right? They come together. So it's of great helpful in storing the information. In the process of evaluation, you can store the information, right? And you can process it. You can work on it. You can retrieve it. You can get it back, right? Whereas what happened in the classroom, that is over. You cannot get it back. You cannot retrieve it back. Okay, and it can be information can be transformed. It can be transmitted, whereas that is not possible in a regular classroom. So with the help of these technological medium, these many process can be done. So in educational process, it's mainly employed in 4 ways. That is the teaching and learning. It's really very helpful in evaluation, assessment and evaluation. It's really helpful. Then administration process also, and professional development. As teachers, how we can make ourselves developed in this field. Yes, that is very important. So we have to update ourselves. So definitely it helps in the professional development also. So what are the ICT tools? Interactive boards. Yes, then videos. As I've shared many videos, PowerPoint presentation. Yes, absolutely. Because we, even during the pandemic also, how the online classes were going on through PowerPoint presentations and videos, even games, computer-based games, mobile applications, like we are sharing the whatever we did yesterday. I've shared it through the PowerPoint mobile application through WhatsApp. Yes, and educational blogs also, the small videos, definitely that. These are the ICT tools in the teaching and learning process. A sample presentation, just as a sample presentation, factors and multiples. Quickly, I'll go through it. How the stars are arranged. In different ways, we can arrange the stars, right? In one row, 6 stars are there. What is the other way of arranging? 2 stars in 3 rows, right? That also will give you 6. Now 3 stars in 2 rows, right? Now 1 star in 6 rows and 1 star in each row. So it can be written like this, right? So the factors are 1, 2, 3, and 6. We can say it exactly divides 6. It leaves no reminder. Now we are going to use football instead of stars. Four balls in each row. 2 balls in each row. So there are 4 rows, 8 balls. So now we can find the factors of 8. 8 rows and 1 ball in each row. So the factors are 1, 2, 4, and 8. That divides 8 exactly, leaving no reminder. Now just these are examples. So the factors of 28 are 1, 4, 7, and 28. So when we present things, the content or the concept using technology, definitely that will develop the interest in the students. So multiples of a given number. So these concepts, we teachers, we are very well aware of that. So just I'm skipping the slides. Using this, we can ask the students to identify which are the multiples and which are the factors. Now, after this, we can conduct a small assessment for the students by asking true or false, right? Which is true, which are false. A small assessment can be done. These are the significance of enabled teaching. Is it going to replace the teachers? Definitely ICT cannot replace teacher, but it facilitates how they can give the teaching learning process in an easy manner. So we have seen all these things in the slides. So in order to integrate the teaching and learning using ICT, definitely the teachers should have very good creative skills, right? It totally depends upon the teacher's creativity and the motivation of the teachers. So advantages of ICT, we have already discussed. Communication, it improves the communication between the teachers and the students. It engages the students in a better way. Good collaboration that connects the teachers and the students. Productivity of the classroom will increase. So better teaching and learning methods and innovative and learning procedures. Thank you.